about the course before we officially start the lecture. Okay. So tell me something about what you want to know or what you are not clear yet. So did you have any questions for me before we start? No, you don't need to. Turning the camera on will put a very heavy load on the network, and that may decrease the quality of the communication among us. So that on you don't need to turn on the web camera. Additionally, you may stay at home and it's not very convenient to turn on the camera, or let's say you don't feel comfortable to show up. So just keep your camera up. That's okay. Any other questions? All right, can you see my screen clearly? All right, there is a question like this. Will I check attendance in the online class? That is a hard question for me. If I say yes, I don't make people feel happy when they attend my class. If I say no, I'm not sure that how many people will attend for the class for the next meeting. Okay, this is the answer. I don't check attendance for the offline class, so there is no reason for me to check attendance for the online class. Okay, feel free to attend the class if you love to listen to something that benefits you, or at least to learn something when you are in school. And if you don't feel good, or if you want to stay more on the bed, just leave some more minutes, feel free to do so. You don't need to take attendance, and I don't need to check your attendance. Just come to my class if you really like to come. Is that clear enough? Okay, good. Thank you. But I feel a little bit nervous. I'm not sure that for the next online session, how many students will come. All right, just wait for a minute when I'm going to start the class. Today is the second class, right? From the first meeting that we have before the Tet holiday. And let me ask you a question. Do you have any information about when we may come back to the normal class? Maybe March the 1st or March the 8th. Do you have any information about it? Just give me some information. Oh my gosh. So we may start the normal class from the Woman Day. Okay, it's okay, no problem. That means we need to have one more online class. Yes, we expect only one more online class before we resume the normal class. So let me tell you this about how we work. I will try to shorten the online class with the key points and give you the readings materials that you can read at home so that you don't need to stay in front of the screen so long. You don't need to stay on the computer so long. And during my lecture, because that is an online class and we have many participants in the class, that will limit our communications and our interaction. So when I ask some questions that relates to the lecture or relates to the course, relate to the learnings, materials, just try to have the answer by yourself. And I will stop around 30 seconds or a minute for you to think about the answer. And then I will tell you the answer, or I will provide you the answer, and you can compare my answer with yours to see whether or not you have the right response. And just reward yourself or just smile when you have a wrong answer. You don't need to say something or type in the chat box because we don't have enough room and time for communication and interaction during the online class. Okay, so now let's start the second class. What we will do today. Okay, for today class, the second class on all right, February the 22nd. Oh, 23rd, right? Let me give you very quick reviews, not very quick information. Tell you again, very quick information about our class. About our class, sorry, not the class, our course. Okay. And in here, first, just to make sure that you get my contact information. Even I posted the information on the Blackboard, but just giving you here one more time so that you can contact me at any time when you need assistance for this class. All right, my handphone is here. This one is for Zalo. Another one is you can contact me through Viber for this number if you like. And here is my my email address, kai.nt.ou.edu.vn or kai and sorry, Gmail. Oh, sorry, I gave you the wrong email address. Just ignore that. VA 2012 Gmail. Okay, that's about the instructor contact information. That's my contact information. Okay. The second thing is about the course grading. You will have midterm exam. You will have final exam. And you will have the in-class. You know, in this semester, there are 7 OB courses taught at the same time with 7 different instructors. And because of the COVID, we have not agreed yet about the allocation of the percentage of all of the components you have here. However, the most likely that I guess we will have the midterm exam of 30%. The final exam will get around 40% and the in-class will get around 30%, like this. And the big extension we may have, that is the final exam may decrease and the midterm or the in-class may increase their portions in 100%. And it's not a big deal, okay? For the midterm and the final exam, you will take them in form of the multiple choices questions plus some writing, short writing essay. And for the in-class, you will take them in form of the multiple choices questions. Okay? And the multiple choices questions that you take for the in-class part is to prepare for the multiple choices question you will take in the midterm and in the final exams. Okay? I also will give you the test bank that contain the question, the short questions that you need to learn and to prepare for the short writing in the midterm and the final exam. Okay? In sum, you will have all the necessary preparation before you take the midterm and the final exam. And I will prepare that for you. I will do my best to assist you to get the high score in the final exam for the whole courses. When you take my class, you don't need to worry about pass or fail. You will pass my class, my course, if you learn and if you don't drop the class. Okay, so don't worry about it. What you need to do to pass my class is to attend the class, to take the in-class quizzes, and to prepare for the final and midterm exam. For the in-class part, You may take from 4 to, I'm not sure, 4 or 5. It depends on the amount of time we will have during the class. We will take around 4 to 5 pieces. And all of them are multiple choices questions. And among 4 to 5, I will take the best 2 to count for the in-class percent, sorry, the in-class part. Okay. And I will announce the day you will take the quiz a week in advance. For example, just for example, if we have the quiz on the Women's Day, that's been the March the 8th, I will tell you about the quiz on March the 1st. Okay. All right. That is the most important information about the course that I would like to give you before we move to the next part. Okay, any question? Do you have any questions? Do you have any problem following my lecture? Can you hear me clearly? All right. So let me continue. So that is the information about the course. Very quick information. All right. Okay. So the first point we complete quick information. The next point, what I would like to tell you for the next part is what we will cover for the first half of the semester before we take the midterm exam. All right. In the book, we will cover from chapter 1 to chapter 8. Okay. So the second part, the next part we will cover is the key points for the first half of the semester. First, that is the general knowledge about management and the overview of the topic organizational behavior. And all of them is contained on chapter 1. So we can say the first topic we need to cover is, sorry. What happened? Is chapter 1 introduction plus chapter 2 diversity. And after we cover chapter 1 and diversity, we will move to another topic that is very, very important. That is personality. And because you may use many different textbooks for this course, you may use organizational behavior. You may use the introduction into organizational behavior. Some of you will use the text of organizational behavior. It doesn't matter what textbook you use. The most important thing is that the textbook must be written by Robin and Church. And that is the reason why I don't tell you the name of the number of the chapter, but I tell you the topics, because you can search for the topic in your textbook and you can use the chapter in your book without any problem. Robin and Church wrote a lot of textbooks in different names, but at the same contents. So you don't need to worry about that. Search in your textbook, find the chapter name personality, and so that you can use your textbook without any problem. Okay. The next topic we need to cover is perception. And just at the beginning, let me tell you this: perception is the most important topic that you need to keep in mind. And it doesn't matter that you major in business or you major in any areas in the school of international university. If you understand the section perception well and you can apply what you learn in the OB course, especially the knowledge related to the perception, if you can apply the knowledge of perception into your real life, you can see that the quality of your life increase dramatically, significantly. Okay. And along with perception, we try to understand a very complicated concept that we talk about it every day, but not many people understand or know what it is. That is attitude. Okay. And after we cover attitude, we move to a specific, a particular attitude. That means after you understand the general concept of attitude, the component of attitudes and the nature of attitude, we move to a particular an example of attitude that is very, very important in the working place and very important when you work, very important to the working performance. Motivation. That is motivation. How much you cry, how long you cry when you work. Okay. And in motivation, we try to cover the two small parts. That is the concept and theories of motivation and the application of motivation in practice. In practice. All right. That is for the first half of the semester. And just because the organizations of the course or the textbook is not very good and we have to follow it. The first half of the semester or the first half of the book with the topics we cover here from personality to motivations are much more important compared with the topics that we will cover in the second half of the semester, including leadership, structure of the organization, teamwork, etc. The key points that I want to share with you and the key points that can help you improve your working performance as well as improve your life quality concentrate on the first half of the semester. So I strongly encourage you, if you cannot keep your concentration for the whole semester, try to stay at least a half of the semester for the first half. Okay. So that is about the key topic that the key topics that we need to cover. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have 7 or 8 classes before we take the midterm exam. And for the chapter 1 and about the diversity, I need you to take a very quick look on chapter 1 first. So the next part, I will provide you the review for chapter 1. And after that, for today, we go to the key points of diversity. Okay. And after we complete the key points of diversity, we can go. Our class today, class will not last very long. And now I am going to start the review of chapter 1 that contains the basic knowledge and information about the functions of the management and as well as the functions of the organization. I talk about something well in the first class, but I would like to start over so that the people who haven't attended the first class can follow and can catch up the progress. Okay. All right, just wait a minute. Can you still hear me clearly?
Yes, sir.
All right, just wait a minute. I'm going to start chapter 1. And if you want, you can turn on, sorry, we can open the PowerPoint file for chapter. Actually, I will add some more information from my experience to chapter 1 in the book. All right, now is the review for chapter 1. And just make sure that you still can hear me clearly, right? Tell me something in the chat box to make sure that you can still hear me. Okay, good. Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right. Now, chapter 1 review.
Hello, sir. I can't hear anything from you.
Hello. Just want to make sure that you still can hear me. Any problem with the voice system, the sound system? A strong computer, very expensive software, it does not mean you have an effective MIS system. Because MIS system is effective or not, depending whether or not you can implement things that satisfy the three conditions like this. Okay? So we complete the first part of reviewing management function and organization functions. And now we take the first function to the second point of review, that is HRM component. Now I give you a minute to take notes or to capture the screen. Take a photo of the screen before I continue, because I am going to erase the screen very shortly. All right, continue. Now, so it look like the real whiteboard, right? Not very different. Okay, HR components. What we do when we manage people within our organization. We have three components, three elements under HRM function. The first one is to direct employee behavior. To direct employee behaviors. Why we need to direct the employee behaviors?
So
We direct their behaviors to the right way. Because the second point is that you need to remember to keep in mind. That is how we define performance. All right. Now, look at this. Look at this formulation. The second point I want you to remember. Here's the first point. Now, the second point. Performance equal to, remember, talents multiplied by motivation combined with opportunity. Okay? Talents concern your competency, how strong your skill is, how good your knowledge is. And motivation concern your attitude, how much you cry, and how long you cry, how much you love the job. And opportunities concerns how much the organization, your supervisor, and your co-workers support you, concerning whether or not you have enough equipment and working conditions to achieve the goals. All right? And talents, we have another words that have the same meaning, that is competency. Competence or competency. Sorry. Competence. And what we define talents? We define talent as in organizational behavior. Remember, in other fields, people define talent in different ways. But in organizational behavior, in psychology, we define the talents as the, remember? Sorry. We define the talent as the ability to demonstrate right behavior at the right time. I don't care the certificates you have. I don't care you tell me how much experience you have. You told me I have IELTS 7.0. I say, okay, it's good. I'm happy to hear that. Now I need to test your behavior to show that you have competence on English or you have talent in English. And the behavior that I will ask you to demonstrate, the first behavior is speaking. Speaking is a behavior. The second behavior I ask you to demonstrate is listening. Listening is a behavior. And I will ask you to demonstrate the behavior of reading, of writing. So if you can demonstrate the right behavior, I consider you have talents or ability. And the first component of HR is to direct the employee behaviors to the right way or to the ways that the company expect the employees to demonstrate. For example, the company can use the punish policy or reward policy to direct the behavior of showing on time or showing late. Punishment, if you come to the work late, you will get punishment. You will be deducted your salary. That is one of the way you direct your employee behavior concerning going to work on time. Okay, Second, and this kind of behavior is strongly related to the field of study we say individual psychological behavior. Individual psychological behavior. And that is the course that we are studying, organizational behavior. The field of study that researches the impact of organization factors on individual behavior at work. Okay. The second component of human resource management in an organization is try to initiate and maintain the employee motivation. Initiate and maintaining motivation. That means make the employee loves to work, really want to be successful on the work, try to work and try to be successful on the work. And this kind of function strongly related to leadership, knowledge, leadership techniques, and finally, HR techniques. And in HR techniques, we learn so many things about training, compensation, recruitment, selection, blah, blah, blah. Social insurance, medical, employment relation, employment law. All of them are related to HR techniques. Okay, HR component have three. HRM has three elements like that. And our course focus on this one. Organizational behavior. And a little bit focus combining with this one. And remember, if you are HR manager, you need to master, you need to be good at all three elements. But if you are not an HR manager, you are a marketing manager, you are a finance manager, you are chief of accountant, you are CEO, you are CFO, you need to be very good at the first two, direct employee behaviors and initiate and maintaining motivation. That means whatever kind of manager, I don't care what manager you are, you need to become an HR manager. You need to manage your human resource at some degree. And managing human resources is the responsibility of every manager within an organization, not only of HR manager. You are human resource manager, you must be good at direct employee behavior. You must be good at initiate and maintaining the employee motivation. You must be good at HR techniques if you are HR manager. But if you are other kinds of manager, please be good at the first two. Okay? Now, here's the first point I want you to remember. Here's the second point you want to keep in mind. I want you to keep in mind. Now, the next point. Behavior model. Behavior model. All right, let me erase this one first so that I have enough space. Okay, now the model of behavior. All right, now it's my part. Just coming back to my voice, not the video clip anymore. Can you still hear me? All right, before you come to the behavior model, I would like to ask you some questions and just to start your thinking about your daily behaviors. What impact our behaviors and what control our behaviors? Okay. Now just think by yourself. I will give you this information first. Actually, the behaviors made by human can be categorized in two types. The first one, we say the behavior is under control. That means you intentionally to do that behavior, to behave like that. You intentionally to control your behavior. You really think when you behave. You have emotion when you behave. And in science, we say the conscious behaviors. The other kinds of behaviors, that is the unconditional behaviors. And sometimes you behave just like a reactions and you don't know why you behave like that. That is in science, we say unconscious behaviors. Just very short words in Vietnamese to make you understand the meanings of the words. Chúng ta có hai loại hành vi mà con người thường thực hiện. Một là hành vi hữu thức, tức là chúng ta kiểm soát được hành vi của chúng ta. Hai là hành vi vô thức, unconscious behaviors. And for the unconscious behaviors, until now, scientists know a little, very little about what control and what impact the unconscious behaviors. However, just talk about the conscious behavior or under control behavior. Think by yourself, what make our behavior happen? Or what impact our behaviors? Just think by yourself. Now, why you come to school? Why are you here to study? Why you buy a product? Why you turn left? Why you turn right when you stop when you see the red light? Why you go ahead when you see the green light? Why you love? Why you give the good words to some girls or some boys to your partners? Why you decide to sleep more and not to take a class? All of them are behaviors, and what in general impact those behaviors? And most people say, yes, the attitude impact the behavior, right? Okay, I will share with you a very short video clip first, and we will back to the model of behavior later to see what really impact the behavior and what is the root of behaviors, why people behave in certain ways and why other people behave in different ways. All right. Okay, can you still hear me? Just wait a minute. I will show you another video clips. But before that, just type in the chat box or let me know, is everything okay? The sound is good and you still can hear me? Thank you. How about the other students? Can you still hear me? Thank you. I'm really concerned whether or not you can follow my lecture and get the key points. Just give me a second. All right, now just look at another video clips and make sure that this time everything is better. Now, can you see the screen?
Many things that we have to be optimistic about.
Yeah, for sure. And let me share with you one of my favorite stories about the fact that, yes, you can be negative and yet be changed radically with certain processes.
Is the sound okay?
Yes, sir.
Years ago, I spoke in Birmingham, Alabama, and I'd agreed to meet with the lady who had called in and said she hated her job, hated the people there, and hated everything about it. Well, Laurie Majors told her that I would speak with her when I got there. As it worked out, she got there about 10 minutes before I was to start speaking. She was on one side of backstage, I was on the other side, and as she walked across and saw me, she almost started crying. "Oh, I'm just so glad to see you. I got this terrible job. I just hate it. I hate it. I hate it." And the people down there, it's the kind of person that can brighten up a whole room by leaving it. And her question was, "Can you help me?" And I said, "Ma'am, I can. I've got a process that if you'll follow, you'll get results." She said, "I'll try anything within reason." I said, "Okay. When you get home tonight, last thing you do just before you go to bed, I want you to get a sheet of paper and write down on it, 'I like my job because.'" She said, "That'll be easy. I don't like nothing about that job. Don't like nothing about the people down there." And I said, "Well, just as a matter of curiosity, do they pay you for working there?" She said, "Well, of course they pay me for working there." And I said, "And you don't like to be paid?" She said, "Yes, I do, too." I said, "Well, now, 30 seconds ago, there wasn't nothing you liked about the job. Now we've already found one thing. Maybe we can find something else. Let's try." Before we got through, there were 22 things she liked about a job. Number one, they not only paid her, they paid her above average. She had life insurance, health insurance, and hospitalization insurance. She had a 2-week vacation with pay. She lived less than 10 minutes from home. She was in on management decisions, had a good retirement program, on and on and on. And as I looked at it, I said, "Now, ma'am, what I want you to do is this. When you get home at night, I want you tonight, get right in front of the mirror, look yourself in the eye and say, 'I love my job because they pay me well. I love my job because of the insurance. I love my job. I love my job. I love my job.'" And every time you say, "I love my job," you're really saying, "I'm grateful for my job." Gratitude is the healthiest of all human emotions. Now, you see, the woman had come to me expecting me to solve her problem. See, I can't do that, you can't do that, you can't do that. But you can give them, and we can give them methods and processes which, if they will do, they accept responsibility. There we go with that word again, for doing something for themselves. And she had come there expecting me to solve her problem. I gave her something far more valuable. That was, how can you solve the problem? Well, I told her, do this every morning, and tomorrow morning when you get up, and every night, you'll discover that you had a different kind of dream. It was a positive dream. Take the list with you, because you will have discovered in just 24 hours that you now are looking for positive things. You'll add to this tomorrow morning. And as you add to the list, change will take place. Over and over, you say this morning and night, and if you'll do it for 30 days, you will see a significant change in your life. 6 weeks later, I was back in Birmingham doing a follow-up sales seminar. And though she was not in sales, per se, she had been listening in Automobile University and had learned that everybody's in sales. And so there she sat on the front row, grinning so wide she could have eaten a banana sideways. I mean, she was really grinning. I said, "Well, ma'am, how you doing?" She said, "Wonderfully well, Mr. Ziegler." She said, "You can't believe how much those people down there have changed." Well, of course, they hadn't changed, but she had. See, we're not going to change anybody until we change ourselves. But let me emphasize a point. It wasn't her fault altogether that she was that way. She was raised with parents who were constantly criticizing her, comparing her to her brother, who was so wonderful. Then she married a man, and guess what? Same kind of man. He, too, was a fault finder. But here's what's fascinating. There's no such thing as a single fault or a single good habit or a single bad habit. All of them have got buddies. When she took the approach she did on her job, then she started reevaluating her parents. And she started looking for the positive there. They had provided her with a good education. They had provided her with a secure home, provided food, shelter, caring. I mean, to the best of their knowledge that they had. And so she started looking at that, and her relationship with them changed dramatically. Same story with her husband. Same story in the church and in the community. When you change your attitude and change your thought processes, it affects every facet of your life. That's where responsibility to continue to grow and learn is so important to all of us. There is change. She accepted responsibility and did it.
All right. That's the end of the short video clips that I want to share with you. And now I want to give you a minute. Take a pen and a pencil and a paper. Write down or just think in your head what control the behavior. Think about the case. Think about the case of the woman, the lady in the clip. Why she changed her behaviors. What she changes before she changed her behavior. What impact behavior? Think by yourself. And after 1 or 2 minutes, I will ask some of you type in the chat box just the keyword. What do you think that will impact your behavior? Okay. All right, time is up. Can someone give me a word, a keyword to answer the question? What impact behavior? Just type in the chat box or send me private message if you don't want others to see your answer. Anyone has any idea? Gratitude. All right. Let me see. Anyone else? Yes, there is one student say attitude. All right. Looking back the video clip, At first, at the beginning, you can recognize that the lady hated. The lady hates her company, hates her boss, hates her job, hates her colleagues. That is her attitude toward the world. And with that attitude, it's not very difficult to predict how her behaviors would be at the working place, right? However, what impact her attitude? Let me give you some other kinds of attitudes that you may experience during your life or during your day. Love is an attitude. Hate is an attitude. Satisfied is an attitude. Angry is an attitude. Nervous is an attitude. Loyalty is an attitude. Satisfaction is an attitude. Can you recognize that there is a component always go along within the attitude? Can you recognize that? What go along within the attitude of envy? What go along with the attitudes of love or satisfied? That is emotion. When you talk about attitude, when you have attitudes, that means you have emotion. And emotion is a component of attitude. And it's correct that attitude impact behavior, but in general, at a higher level, what really impact attitude and through attitudes will impact your behavior. Coming back to another video clip, okay? All right, now let's see. Sure. Okay, now the model of behavior. The backbone of this model is perception, impact, attitude, and the attitude impact the behavior. That means the root, the foundation, the background, the foundation background, the root causes of behavior is perception. If you want to change your behavior for a long time, you need to change your perception. And when you watch some video clip about changing behavior on YouTube or listening to some speakers speaking about changing behavior, you may hear they said that if you want to change your life, you need to change your attitude. Actually, attitude contains one component that is never stable. Within attitude, you will study later, we have a component, we say emotion. Emotion is an element of attitude combining with some other elements. And that is the emotion make the attitude never stable. So that if you change your attitude, you can change your behavior in very short time. And then the behavior return to the old way or remain the same, not change anymore. But if you can change your perception, you will change your behavior for a long time and stably. And remember, your life change starts with first change of behavior. And can you guess, after the behavior creates what? All right, after behavior is the whatever you do, you have the results. But whether or not the result is effective or ineffective, depending on what you do. That is the reason why, remember, your behavior is the behavior decides the results that you have. And usually I used to tell my students that right behavior leads to the right results. Repeating the right behavior repeats the right results many times. And accumulating the right results that you have over time, you will have a big access. And here's the consequence. Right perception leads to the right behaviors. Repeating the right behaviors builds your competencies. And your competencies leads you to the success in your life, in whatever you do. One more time. Right perception leads to the right behavior. Repeating the right behaviors build your competencies. The competencies lead you to the success in your life or in whatever you do. All right? And the question is how we can build right perception. We need to understand what impacts perception. We have situation factor. Situation factor. Or the same meaning, environment factor. Environment. And the situation or environment contains all of the factors that outside your control. Your family, your education, the country you live, the education you receive, around you the classroom, the equipment, the working condition, the salary, the support from supervisor. They are example of situation or environment. And situation or environment has a very strong impact on perception. Just take education as an example. In this class, I am trying to view your perception, your right perception about perception. Okay, I am trying to share with you the knowledge that can help you to view right perception about what perception is. And in school, you learn a lot of things, and that is the periods of time in which you are trying to view the right perception as a foundation for the right behavior after you graduate or during the time you study. The second group of factors that impact perception coming from individual. And the first thing today we will go through that is the personality, the competence, or competencies, and last one, the demographic. Age, gender, race, nationality, living area, generations, income, social class, all of them, and many things else are example of demographic. And this is what I want you to keep in mind the third point. First, satisfaction decreases over time if the product has nothing new. Second, performance is a combination of what? Talents combined with motivations, combined with opportunities. Third one, behaviors based on perception through attitudes. That is the model of behavior. Okay? And remember, keep in mind, right perception leads to the right behavior. Repeating right behaviors build your competencies. Your competencies lead to your success in life. All right. Okay. Is the final part, the last part of the video clip is clear enough to give you a view of what impact the behavior. Do you have any questions? I will take the example of the video clips of the lady that you just watched before as to make you understand more about the behavior model. We can see that only when the lady changed the way she looked at the situation, change the way she evaluates her company, change the way he evaluates her husband, change the way she evaluates her college, her boss, and the situation around her. Only when she change the way she think of them, she can change her attitude. And from changing her attitude lead to changing her behavior. The way you look at things, the way you evaluate people, the way you understand, the way you believe, all of them called perception. All of them are perception. Your understanding, your belief, your conclusion, your thinking are perception. And the way you think, the way you conclude, the way you believe impact your attitude, your emotion, and then lead to impact your behavior. Some people ask me that if we change our attitude without changing the perception, can we change our behavior? The question is, sorry, the answer is yes. However, if we only change attitude, we only can change the behavior in short term, and you cannot change your behavior for long term. For example, this morning you feel very excited and you attend for the class. That is the emotion inside. And you feel, oh, today I feel so good. And I will come to the class, I will attend the class online. Or I do something good. Or at least I feel so excited. I feel very eager so that I wake up early in the morning and doing exercise. All right. That is your emotion. You feel good and you do that. However, if you don't have a very clear recognition, clear understanding of the benefit of doing exercise, you don't have very clear understanding about how to do exercise effectively, you cannot maintain doing exercise daily until you recognize the benefits of exercise. Or going to the class, the same example. So that remember, perception is the foundation of behavior. Right perception build the right behavior. And everything you have in your life depends on how you behave. Okay, just stop around 1 minute for you to have any questions, any comments before we continue. Any questions? You still can hear me well? Can you? All right, another question. Are you still there? Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. You still listen to me, or are you doing something else? Eating, drinking water, watching movies? All right. Let's continue to the next part. That is the key point in chapter 2. Chapter 2 talking about diversity. And I would like to ask you to read chapter 2 by yourself. And when you read chapter 2, focus on the following key points. First, try to understand the concept of diversity. It's very simple. You experience diversity or diversification when there are different age, genders, nationalities working in the same team or the same organization. You never experience or face diversity if you work by yourself and have no connection with the outside world. Okay? So try to understand the concept of diversification. Second, try to understand the let's say 2 different kinds of diversity. Say, let me open the PowerPoint slide to show you. Let me see where is it. Okay, chapter 2. All right. Try to understand the 2 different types of diversity. That is surface level diversity and deep level diversity, and try to connect what you learned from the beginning of the class until now with 2 types of diversity to see which level we can apply the understanding of organizational behavior knowledge to reduce the negative impact of diversification, as well as to take the full advantage of diversification at the working place. Remember, diversification is a must. You cannot avoid it. It doesn't matter that you like or you dislike diversification or diversity. You must see it and work with that every elsewhere around you. Okay, so it's better that try to understand diversity, try to understand how many types of diversity we have and how to deal with diversity to take the full advantage and to avoid the negative sides. All right, key points. What is diversity? What is the negative side and what is the positive side of diversity? And how many types of diversity do we have? That's enough for chapter 2. Okay. And as I told you, that's enough for today. And for the coming class, I will post the video clip today on Blackboard very soon so that you can review at any time you like. And I will post some review question in form of multiple choices question related to chapter 2 and what I have lectured today, as you can review by yourself when you work at home. And in the next class, we will take some time to go through those multiple choices question very shortly. Okay? All right. Now you are good to go. And that's enough for today. Hopefully you enjoy the first online class working with me. And if there's any problem or there's anything that you want me to do to improve the quality of the class and to make you enjoy the online class better, just tell me, okay? All right, that's all for today. And you all have a nice day. See you next week. All right, anyone has a question, you can stay and I can stay with you until your question you have. Just send me email, let me know. Okay.